Alright, I'm going to continue my discussion of this book right here. And we're going to cover a couple of new vocabulary words. I know you're sitting there going, man, we've been covering a lot of vocabulary words lately. Yes, we have. Okay. Now, the first word we're going to talk about is deference. Now, when a lot of people hear this word, they automatically think of the word difference. Well, even though the two words are spelled in a similar manner, they are hardly the same word. Okay? Difference is spelled D-I-F-F-E-R-E-N-C-E. But deference is spelled D-E-F-E-R-E-N-C-E. They're similar in spelling, but that's as far as it goes. The meaning of deference is respect to an elder. Okay? This would be sort of like the Queen of England. I guarantee you, if you walked up to the Queen of England today and started going, "Hi, how are you?" she would be very offended. Okay? You're to approach her in a manner of humility. "How's it going, ma'am? Is there anything I can do for you, ma'am?" You want to do everything you can not to offend the Queen of England. Why? Because this is the kind of person that would literally hold your life in the palms of her hands. In today's standards, that would probably be the ultimate humiliation. Okay, she could humiliate you in ways that you just couldn't even think of. Back in the 1st century, which we're talking about here, you're talking about somebody that could literally hold your life in the palms of their hands. What were these rabbis doing? Okay, what were these rabbis doing? When you offended them badly enough, they would then say, "Hey man, we don't like you, so now we're going to order your stoning." And let me tell you something, stoning had nothing to do with you getting high on drugs. Not in this case. In this case, they literally picked up rocks and they threw them at you until you were dead. So, when you're talking about 1st century rabbis, you're talking about people with enough power that if they said, "Hey, you're history," you were history. Simple as that. So that's where we get deference. When they walked in the room, you approached them with humility. You did not question these people. You treated them with the utmost respect. Because your fate was in their hands. Quite literally. Alright. Then we have the word consonant. Now, consonant has a second definition. Most people say, well, in our alphabet we have consonants and we have vowels. That's true. But in this particular case, it means being in agreement. If you're being in consonant with somebody, you're actually being in agreement with somebody. Okay? Now, that brings us to our discussion for tonight. Why didn't Jesus like being called a rabbi? Okay, well, that's because Jesus did not want us to be morbidly afraid of him. Okay, to the point that we would be petrified the very second he walked in the room. He could still teach us as teacher. He still wanted respect, but he was not the kind of person that was unapproachable. These rabbis, you didn't walk up to these people. You didn't just suddenly sit at their table. You tried to sit at their table, they could put you in chains, they could put you in jail, and they could even get you stoned. That's how not nice these people were. So, Jesus was not like that. Yes, he wanted you to pay him enough respect where it would be, being respectful to a human being, that's one thing. But he did not want you being afraid of him. Okay? And that kind of leads us to my particular YouTube channel. Let me tell you something. There are some teachers in the world that they have your academic future in the palms of their hands. And they wield that quite well. You don't pass their course, you're going to end up in a fast food restaurant working long hours and scrubbing pots and pans the rest of your life. That's how much power these guys have got over you. But when you come over here and you start learning from me, there are no examinations. Listen, Your future is not dependent on what I say or do. Your future is dependent on what you learn or do not learn from this channel. It's that simple. There are no examinations here. It's just that simple. That you're not going to find some great big test where you have to fill all these questions and maybe you'll get it right and maybe you'll get it wrong. I figure it this way. It is better that life be your test than I give you a test. You're either going to make it in this world or you're not. And it's based on what you learn from me, whether you make it or you don't. But that's your fate. Has nothing to do with me whatsoever. Learn what you like, skip the rest. That's up to you. But your future is also then your problem. Okay? Has nothing to do with me whatsoever. So, as a teacher, I think it's a much better way for you to learn. You know, either you're going to get dedicated to this or you're not. And it just depends on how badly you want out of that horrible job of yours as to what you'll learn from me. So, I place the burden on your hands and leave it out of mine. And that's the same way with Jesus. Jesus said, hey, look, I'm going to tell you how it is. You're either going to like what I have to say or you're not going to like it. It doesn't matter to me either way. Same here. So in that respect, in that one respect, Jesus and I are somewhat alike. Now there's a lot of things that Jesus was that I am not. But I'm saying in that particular point, he and I are pretty much the same. You can either listen to us or you're not listening to us. And what happens to you after that is really up to you. Okay? So, anyway, hopefully you learned some stuff out of here. I will tell you more in a future video, so stay tuned.